Immunity necklaces are a pillar of Survivor and custom made every season, with some being great and others, yeah. So taking into consideration design and how it embodies the season, let's rank all 46 of them. The Borneo necklace looks like a child made it, and some of the items are mostly generic shells. That being said, even though you could probably make it in your garage in like an hour, it's extremely iconic, so I'll put in the D tier as a pretty average necklace. While I am more forgiving towards old school necklaces, the Australian Outback is a confused mess of beads, bones, and random colours. Probably best remembered for being worn by woman magnate Colby Donaldson. It goes in E. That being said, Africa is a massive improvement, and it's insane to see just how much charisma from a necklace it has this early into the season. It captures the Kenya flag colours in a fun cloth style design we don't see much, and I like that you can link it around your neck. That being said, I'm not sure how much necklace-like it is. Sorry, Mr. Jeff, so I can't put it in S, but I will do. Marquesas' necklace isn't offensively bad, but it's not particularly good. Just some shells and a tiki mask. But it has a tiki mask, and I love tiki mask immunity necklaces, even mediocre ones, so you get slid into D tier, buddy. Thailand. Thailand looks uncomfortable, brittle, and is largely forgettable. No, not the season. Well, yes, actually, yes, also the season. I've never vibed with this necklace, and maybe it's just me, but it looks very one note, looks extremely unsafe to wear, and heaven forbid you head it off something because your knee will be swallowing shards, so yeah, F tier. It might just be me, but I love feather necklaces, and when you take such distinctive themes like the Amazon necklace that beautifully aligns with the Amazonian tribe colours and the arrow style feathering, it's going to get high praise. A bit bulkier than I would like, but it's easily one of the best. Talking about one of the best, the Pearl Islands immunity necklace is my favourite of all 46. The sword and scabbard beautifully aligns with the pirate theme, plus it's a sling rather than all the other collar style necklaces that wrap around the neck. Call me crazy, but it's so badass, and it's an easy S tier in my mind. Talk about a fall from grace, but the All-Stars necklace is hideous. It's simply thread and coins looking like shackles more than anything you'd want. Additionally, it looks extremely weighty as well as irritating since the coins are constantly scratching your skin. They also decided one monstrosity wasn't enough, so they created two, which I mean, good for them, but it's another F tier. Vanuatu is a slight improvement, but still largely forgettable. It features a standard necklace with shells, but the spiral-like boar tusks create a nice design. That being said, I do wonder how they get these boar tusks, as unless they happen to find them dead of natural causes, I think we may have to get PETA on speed dial or add it to the list of Survivor controversies. It's an E tier for me. Palau's necklace is one of the most extravagant, featuring just a massive shark jaw, and the fact the production team were mad lads and actually turned this into a necklace is really interesting. That being said, unlike other necklaces, the shark teeth face inward, thus pointing towards the neck. It therefore looks extremely uncomfortable, so while it's cool, it looks like a death trap. This video is sponsored by idolplays, a way to play Survivor challenges from the comfort of your own home through beautifully replicated 3D printed designs, allowing for ease of access. If you have a Survivor superfan friend, or if you want to compete in challenges to see how you would do on the show, make sure to purchase one of these items, as the store will only be open until Wednesday. And if you want to support creators like myself, make sure to go check out the Creator Camp, where we have picked our own personal favourite puzzles, put them into our boxes. However, objectively, as we all know, mine's the best. Guatemala's necklace looks like something you might make in a Walmart arts and crafts set, but it's got a face. And hey, it might just be me, but I really get the Mayan vibes from this necklace. There are better fleshed out necklaces similar to this, but it's a solid D. Panama I'm so mixed on because I love the colour scheme, details with artifacts, and the fact it's so unique is a boon as well, but it does look like a carpet. Even Terry Dietz, as big of a guy as he is, essentially wears the thing like an apron because it looks so big and bulky. I'll put it in C, but really I can take it or leave it. The Cook Islands immunity necklace is best remembered for being worn by Aussie, and well, only Aussie. That's about it. The high Matu is a nice touch, but looks extremely basic apart from that. Fiji, I was rooting for you, and then you made this abomination. Bones are cooler than coins, but this design is so uninspired. Season 14, you are lucky All-Stars, or it exists, because in another timeline you could be right at the bottom. China is another necklace that looks like it doesn't know what it wants to be. It really is just a Frankenstein experiment of symbols and thread, making it look like scrap metal. It's not offensive, but I'm really disappointed they didn't utilize any Chinese inspiration in this design. E tier. I might be offending people, but Micronesia's immunity necklace is not a good design. You could argue D tier because of the tiki faces, but considering all the ones in that tier have one big tiki face in the center, it doesn't fit that tier, and honestly it's so messy with incoherent shells plus chunks of wood that I have to shoot it in F tier. Gabon's necklace is very rustic, so although I don't entirely like the colour scheme, it helps it stand out against some of these necklaces that are just clumps of metal. Plus the Gabonese faces really tie it back to the season. I'll whack it in C tier. Oh boy, Survivor Tocantins, you have crushed this design. The bright, vibrant, exotic feathers really make this necklace unique and tie it back to Brazil very nicely. It looks amazing, it is easily identifiable in a lineup, and looks like a prized possession. Nothing is topping the Pearl Islands, mind you, but this is another S tier design for me. Samoa's immunity necklace is almost identical to the Cook Islands. It is slightly better with the artifacts, adding a little more definition to the overall design, but it's still an A. Heroes vs Villains immunity necklace is never the top of anyone's list. The tiki faces sport a fun, unique tan, white and green colour scheme, but I also feel they could have added to it a little bit more. You may have noticed B tier has been straight up abandoned up until this point, but fret not, because Nicragua is going straight in there. B tier for me is a good housing point for necklaces that don't really relate to their seasons, thus not making it A tier, but they look beautiful and like actual jewellery. It's really beautiful with a nice ruby gem and golden cross. Redemption Island's necklace doesn't know what it wants to be. You have random designs, jade stones, a ton of tiki faces smashed together, making it look like you're playing a game of Survivor Casino, and the bottom green rusted gold look just looks odd. I'm getting some borderline trypophobia here. If one of the tiki faces were made bigger and used in the front and centre, it could have risen a tier, but for now it's E tier, and I feel bad for Boston Rob, only being able to wear 2 of the worst immunity necklaces in Survivor history. Survivor South Pacific has everything I hate in an immunity necklace. It's clunky, has a lot of weird hanging ornaments, and even the tie at the back looks flimsy, and it even falls off Albert after Brandon's vote off in South Pacific. But it has a face, and that might sound weird, but it ties the entire design together to look tribal. D tier. One World's immunity necklace is probably the best part of the season. The Skull and Bones idea has been done numerous times, so there are better versions than this installation, but it's been reused for a season, and because it works, C tier. The Philippines necklace is amazing. It's one of the smallest in the entire catalogue, and I feel Nicragua pulls off the same kind of design better, but it still looks like a mythical treasured possession. I'll scooch it right in B tier. Caramoan is another one of these skull and bone designs that I am admittedly a sucker for, with its design on an agorot necklace. I prefer One World's, mind you, but this one is very solid also. Blood vs Water is one of the few necklaces to feature stone in its design. Apart from that and the few red threads, it doesn't really stand out, and nothing about it is unique to Blood vs Water or its location, unless you want to make an analogy of the red threads being dripping blood. But I think that's a bit of a stretch, so I'll give it an A. Cagayan's necklace is amazing and super memorable. It has the royal colours of carved gold alongside a red band, plus the main insignia is based on the Rangda, a demon queen in Balinese mythology. Finally, the fact the metal seems to be quite thin means it's probably surprisingly lightweight for how big it is, the third S tier. San Juan Del Sur's necklace is basically the aforementioned Guatemala necklace, but more refined. Not much more to say, it's not my favourite, but far from my most hated. It goes in C. The Worlds Apart necklace is just amazing. It looks like a washed up relic with seashells and wood, all beautifully complementing the compass. It looks so good, and the compass is amazing and adds a really fun spin to the Worlds Apart theme. I have to give it an S as it makes my top 3. Cambodia's necklace looks like what Panama wanted to be. It's one of the few cloth necklaces, with it covering the chest in the fun gold red royal colour themes. It still looks a bit awkward to wear for prolonged periods of time, but it fits the sub-tier of royal necklaces in B tier. Kaoh Rong has a wiry beaded necklace, which I'm not a huge fan of, but the colours are good, and I like the set of faces located in the upper chest region. I do wish they could have put more representation of Kaoh Rong into this necklace, so it falls into C tier. Everything from Cagayan and on had an extremely strong pool of necklaces, and sadly that quality slips for the next few seasons, starting with MVGX. This thing looks so unbelievably over-engineered with random wood, bone, shells, and even spikes. During the Final Four elimination, David gets nearly impaled by Ken when hugging him. But do you see that? That's a face. And that fun design of the tiki face carries the whole necklace. It's getting a low D tier. Gamechangers had a nautical necklace featuring items production seemingly scrounged out of a garage, and so for that it goes into F tier. HHH has a pretty standard meshed out metal necklace with a few scattered medallions. The main body looks like it's supposed to be in the middle section of a scale for some reason, but it has a bit more personality than those in F. Ghost Island's necklace is a bit of a joke in the community, hence its own tier. Apparently the original necklace that was made for this season fell through for some reason, so we ended up with a piece of driftwood, shells, and I'm not sure if the main skull is paper or another shell. That being said, it looks like the most uncomfortable necklace to wear, as it's so bulky and contains thick wood, so it shoots straight to the bottom. David vs Goliath is the first season I ever watched, and even then I was unimpressed by the immunity necklace. It's really just 5 painted brown shells, so I was originally going to put it near the bottom of E tier, but then I read a theory online that stated how the necklace contains the 5 stones David used, with the biggest one in the middle, alluding to the one he killed Goliath with. It may be a bit of a stretch, but for that potential symbolism alone, it goes to the top of E tier. Edge of Extinction's necklace is a bit weird, being this massive necklace with tons of medallions and a red-silver colour scheme, making it look like a mashup of Blood vs Water and HH's necklace. I'll put an E tier, but a high E. Island of the Idols is something that, against all odds, actually has a fantastic necklace. Something I talk a lot about is cultural exploration, and while the Moai stone faces are made in Easter Island, Chile, it does capture the culture of this specific season well. Rob and Sanj were mentors on Island of the Idols, but were kept secret from the contestants. This necklace is therefore a fun reference to the mentors hiding in plain sight in the season, especially in the finale when they visit the island. While I don't think it should overcome the cultural expression of the Amazon or Africa, it's weirdly enough an A for me. And honestly, the same can be said for Winners at War. While the wiki using the word bib is pretty funny, this thing kind of slaps. It looks like a breastplate piece of armour, tying back to the war theme, and includes fire tokens left and right to the main medallion. Yet another A tier. Survivor 41's necklace looks like an upgraded version of the Heroes vs Villains necklace, with a more standout colour scheme and more expressive takey faces. The wooden rocks also do have the merge insignia on them, which is a clever addition, so I'll slot it into C. For some reason, the wiki only states Survivor 42's snake design is eating its own tail, when I think it's very clearly an Ouroboros, a mythological snake that eats itself out of eternal hunger. The harsh conditions and lack of food were a significant part of 42, so it ties into the theme well, but I don't think hunger is enough of a standout point in Survivor 42 to match the cultural expression of necklaces in A tier. Hell, you can even make the argument this would work better as a necklace for Survivor 41. It is a very well crafted design, however, so it gets a high B. 43's necklace is the final one at this point to have the skull and bones design aesthetic. It has a monkey skull, which is honestly pretty unique and a little bit demonic, but also cool, and it has the merged Gaia symbol in the centre. It's the best of a decent bunch, so it goes at the top of C tier. 44's necklace is straight up clean looking, debatably the most real-like necklace if scaled down. It incorporates the weird and honestly inconsistent story of the dragon in modern Survivor in both the scales and medallion, but looks nice and it has some good backstory. B tier. Survivor 45's necklace looks like a worse version of that seen in Tocantins, but don't get that mistaken for the fact it's bad. For some reason, Survivor 45 embraced a heavy bird theme. Maybe it's because a lot of their fans flew away after Winners at War. But at this point, I can't knock the logo, immunity idol, and necklace all having a consistent theme. I can't shake the fact that they all should have been in 44 though, as that would have aligned perfectly with the birdcage, thus getting it into A tier, but as a standalone product, it's still good and deserves B tier. Survivor 46. This is similar to a lot of necklaces in the lower B tier category, just looking like real world jewelry scaled up. While I prefer other designs, the lizard imagery ties into Survivor 46, such as the gecko challenge, so it's enough to just barely get it into B tier. And now finally, for the moment a variety of you have probably been waiting for, Survivor 47's immunity necklace is, well, I don't mean to have this video end up in an anticlimactic ending, but it's fine, I guess. The bat theme is a bit weird, but ties into the modern Survivor animal imagery theme. It does look a bit chunky and a bit uncomfortable to wear, as well as the plastic looking a bit tacky in places, but I'm going to put in C tier for having a pretty solid theme. I don't have the background for me putting it into my tier list, so just know it's generally somewhere around the middle C tier. Did I get the ranking correct? Would you have changed any results? Let me know down in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Peace!